Hello, you're very welcome to Classic English Academy Plus. This is session 9 and I am going to talk about simple present. Well, the first part of every verb makes a routine in the sentence. In Unit 5, Essential Grammar in Use, we are going to do all the exercises and I will bring you a lot of different kinds of techniques to produce your own sentences. Let's get in and see what we have. Well, this is session 9 and I am very happy that you are here because I understand you are interested to learn the English language perfectly without any mistakes, and you are interested to produce the English language in the way that you like. Once again, you're very welcome to Classic English Academy Plus. Well, in this session, I am going to talk about how we can conjugate verbs and different kind of verbs for different starters. Yes, there are some different types of starters, like singular starters, he, do you remember? The pronoun for she and it as a subject or an object. We also have some different nouns like proper or common nouns, my dog, for instance, or we can use a person like Sue, and we have this part as the starter. Okay, the starter is singular. Yes, they are going to show one thing for it or one person, like Sue, okay, they are all one thing. My dog is one thing. He is one person. Okay, after this, we have the verb part, and the verb part is going to show that these starters, one by one, is for one thing or one person. So we need to say is here. And the rest of the sentence as the complement, well, we can say that it is necessary to say, for instance, my friend. Okay, let's read one sentence. He is my friend. Look at it. He is my friend. Number 2, she is my friend. Again, it is my friend. Okay, it's a neighbor's dog. Okay, Tom is my friend. We can say it again. My dog is my friend. Sue is my friend. Okay, something very interesting about is that we can make it negative very, very easily. And we are also able to change it into a question if we put is in the beginning of the sentence and say, is he my friend? And then I put a question mark at the end of the sentence. This is very important because this is the word order. This is the part of a speech. This is the rule. The conjugating matter is the matter of the to be first, the first verb. I'm sure that you remember this. And then we have I. This is very, very special because when we are conjugating to be, you only see that we have one person, I, and one verb. For I is am only. I am his friend, for instance. Okay? And then we have some other kinds of starters, like the starters that are for more than one person. For instance, my dog and I. Like it, we can say we, or you also can say you here for one person or more than one person. We are able to say they too. So there are for more than one person. They are showing the starters for more than one person. It is all one person and more than that. Okay, so when we go to the to be verb, do you remember? To be, we are conjugating and say that, well, this is are, always are we have here. My dog and I are good friends. Yes, of course. Why? Because we are two people. Look at this S at the end of friend, it is plural for more than one person. Are for more than one person, my friends for more than one person, and we have the subject. They are good friends. You are good friends, because I'm talking about you as more than one person. We are good friends. My dog and I are good friends. Very, very easily. We talked about this in last sessions. But today I am going to conjugate some special verbs for starters for one person and starters for more than one person. Yeah, we have more than one person here. It is going to happen for some other verbs, but they are somehow very special. Let's see what we have for the second part. Let me show you the single starters. Well, single starters can be very different. They are different. He, she, my boss, and it, they are all single starters. And then we have the verb part. When we have the verb part for one single thing, we have different rules. Rule number one, R1. Rule number one for this is that we have some special verbs like focus. Look at it, this is very important. Focus ends with S. Be careful here. We have S here. We have got another verb like pass. Look at it. We have double S here. And we have some other verbs like wash or watch. We have some more other verbs like, for instance, mix, when you mix things together, or we can say go. Look at it. Well, here, the starters, there are single starters. We choose one of these, and then we conjugate these verbs for these guys. Well, look at here. We have wash, sh at the end, ch at the end, x at the end, and o at the end. We have a very important rule. This rule says that we need to put es at the end of all these cases, like passes, focus, washes, watches, mixes, goes. Very simple. Look at it. When we have the verbs ending with s, ending with double s, ending with sh or ch, ending with x or o, we need to put os at the end. This is very, very simple. Do not need to memorize it at all. You need to write different sentences. For instance, my boss focuses on details. He passes the exams. It is a routine. Be careful. When we use the first part of the verb, for instance, the first part of verb for the focus here, we have ed at the end for the second part, and we have ed at the end for the third part. We have the first part of the verb, the second part of the verb, and the third part of the verb. We are talking about the first part of the verb. Be careful here. We are putting the first part of the verb and conjugating them for different single starters. When we use about the first part of the verb in a sentence and we bring the first part of the verb in the sentence, we mean our routines. Maybe you have got the habit of eating breakfast early in the morning, or you never eat breakfast at all. Look at it. The first part of the sentence is talking about the routine, our routine. So when you say, my boss focuses on details, it means that this happens all the time for my boss. He passes the exams. It means it is very, very natural for he that comes and does everything perfectly. She washes the walls every month. Well, we are talking again about something that happens all the time, maybe once in a month, for instance, or once in a week. Okay, watches. He watches. Look at it. I'm making sentences. Okay, do not memorize. Try to make sentences, to use them, and they come into your mind as easy as ABC. He watches action movies. I love this too. Action movies. She goes, yes, it goes under the table. It is my dog. Yes, it goes under the table. You see that? We can use different kind of verbs for different kind of single starters. But there are some special things. I just mixes to write sentences. I didn't have enough place and space for it. Please write different sentences with mix and mixes for single starters. So we have single starters, we have the verbs according to the single starters, and we can have different parts of complement in a sentence. It's very, very easy. This is the first rule. Be careful. We are going to continue with the second rule. Rule number 2 is very, very easy. We have the same single starters. Again, like many different kind of sentences that we have, single starters can come to a sentence, but there is a kind of rules. Rule number 2 says that if you have a single starter like he, like she, like Mary, or my boss, even you can say my boss. You can also say it. Anything that comes as one single starter, we have the main verb part here, of course, and this verb comes as one and shows one single for one single starter. Okay, but this second rule is going to say something very interesting. For instance, we have the verb enjoy. Look at it. Maybe you know the meaning, but you can look it up in your mother tongue dictionary. We have pay. Sometimes we like to say buy, or we can say study, okay? We can bring it cry or fly. Well, this last part is a little bit weird. Well, in fact, here we have some special rules. If you have y, look at it, at the end of the verb part, the last letter, and we have some vowel sounds like A, E, I, O, and U. Be careful. You just need to put an S here. That's finish. Okay, why? Because this O, this A, and this O again here, this U, A, and O, they are all, well, in the vowel sounds. Look at here, O, A, and U. So we just need to put an S here, okay? But if we have the Y at the end, this is the letter Y at the end, and we do not have the vowels, okay, what we need to do is we make this Y into I and add an ES to it. So we say studies. Look at it. This is very, very nice and very clear. So study, Y, and before the Y, we do not have any vowel, like cry, like fly. So all of them are going into I, and then we add ES to it. This is the second rule. Okay, this is very important. And then you can say the rest of the sentence in a way that you like. He enjoys working with a group of people. She pays very well. Mary buys everything she likes. My boss studies very hard. It flies very fast. This is very, very easy. Okay, let's go for the rule 3. Rule number 3 says that you can bring singular starter. Again, we have single starter. Okay, or we can also say starters. Maybe there are many, huh? Anything that you like. Okay, and we have some special rule here. He talks to many people. This S is going to make it clear. We do not have any other rules, the first rule and the second rule, but we have the rest of the things, okay? For the rest of the things, we just add S to the single starters. He talks to many people. This is very easy. We know that. I can put she here, also it. I can also say my father. I can also say Sue or anything. Anything that is one single starter. She talks to many people. It talks to many people. My father talks to many people. Sue talks to many people. Let's go for the last rule. Rule number 4. It says that you have either single starter, okay, easy, or you have a plural starter. Well, this is very, very different. Here we have it, and we can say that I is here, you, he, well, they, we, my friend, and I, we are all plural starters. Here we have got again starters like he, you know that, Sue, she, it, my cat, and many things. We say all of them when we have the plural starters, when we have the singular starters. Okay, we have some special rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3, and this is the 4th rule for everybody, okay? For the rest of the things, we have, for instance, enjoy for all of it. Well, there is no any difference between these verbs. You can say talk. You do not need to add s to any of these. But when enjoy goes for single starter, we have some special rule. When talk goes to single starter, we have some normal rule, because talk is a very simple verb without any rule. Okay, when we do not have any rule, we just add s to the verb. Okay, this is about simple present. This is about routine. Okay, when we have simple present, when we are talking about simple present, we are in fact talking about our routines, things that we do every day and we enjoy it. We do not know when we started. It is not important at all. It is something as a rule now. It is something that we like it to do. It is a fact, and I sometimes have to do it. Let's jump in the book and do the exercises. We will see some of these rules in Unit 5, Essential Grammar in Use. This is Essential Grammar in Use, Unit 5, and it is going to practice conjugating with us, something that I just talked about it in the beginning of the video, and now we are going to do some exercises. When you are going to solve some problems or fill some gaps and you have some blanks in an exercise, the first things that you need to be very careful about is that what are these questions starting? I can see that they are all singular and they have some special questions. For instance, when we have she, it means we need to add s to make the conjugating perfect. He thinks. They think is the root of the verb, and when we add s, we are conjugating it. We are showing that this s shows the single and it is for singular or single subject. Fly is in a very special rule. Do you remember? When we have y at the end of a letter, we can change it into I and add es, but we need to have a consonant before that. And fly is exactly like that. So we say it flies. Very, very easy. And he dances. We say dance and then we add s at the end. Okay, this number 5 is very special because this is the only verb we have simple present in 2 forms, have and has. We use has for one single subject like she, he, Tom, Mary, Sue, my dog, my neighbor, my governor, or a lot of different single nouns. There are sometimes common nouns, or sometimes we have a proper noun like Sue. She has. It is going to take finish. Yes, finish. And this has got a very special rule. Do you remember? The verb ends with sh or ch. The verb ends with o or double s or one single s. We have always es at the end. Be careful. This is very, very important. Okay, let's go to 5.2. The exercise is asking us complete the sentence about the people in the pictures. Number 1 says he, one single person. We need to add s because it is going to show one single starter. They in a very big house. They live in a very big house. So we have play, take, and live. A lot of fruit. Number 3, it is a she. She eats a lot of fruit. Why s? Because the subject is one single person. We have again here number 4, one single person. He, and it is the matter of play again. Play ends with y, and before this we have a kind of a vowel. A, E, I, O, U. There are 5 vowels in English language. So again, we need to put play and then add s because these vowels do not let us to change y to I, add es. We just need s here. That's finish. And there are 2 people here. When we have 2 people, when we are talking about them, they are here. We say they go to cinema. Here we have it, and asleep, the last one, goes for number 6. He is one person, and we say he sleeps, just as here, and finish. When we have some special rules, we need to take care a lot. When there are simple verbs, we just need to add s to them. Look at like eat, like sleep. That's finished. We need to add s and it is fine. In 5.3, we have some longer sentences. Maria is one single person, so we need to put a verb showing one single Maria, one single person. The shops are more than one. The shops in the city center, usually at 9 o'clock in the morning. And this is the complement of the sentence. So here we need a verb. It's quite clear that we do need a verb. At 9 o'clock in the morning, most of the shops around the world start to work. So we need to put open. Okay, this part, the shops in the city center, is the starter of the sentence. This open is the verb of the sentence, and we have the complement, the ending part of the sentence, with 2 adverbs of time. Be careful. At 9 o'clock is one part of the whole morning. So morning is larger than 1 hour at 9 o'clock. We always, most of the time, put 9 o'clock in the beginning and then in the morning in the second part. So if you have 2 adverb of times in the finishing part of the sentence, the first part is the smaller. The second part is the larger. This is very, very important. Do you see any new word in the sentence? Yes, it is correct. Usually. Usually is a kind of a word. It shows how much a verb happens. It has some percentage. Usually is about 90% of the time. These kinds of words are called adverb of frequency. The adverb of frequency most of the time come before the main verb, before open. I will talk about this. This is very, very important. We have am, is, and are, and then we have here adverb of frequency after them. I'm saying that we are going to talk about this later on, but you just need to know it. Number 3 says the city museum. It is one single thing. At 5 o'clock in the evening. Again, we have two adverb of time at the end of the sentence. One of them is smaller, is a part of the evening, and the evening is the larger part of it. Again, we have the same rule. Look at it. This is called word order. We do need to apply the word order in English grammar to speak like a native speaker. Okay, we have the city museum and it closes here. One thing closes, S and finish. Number 5, my job is very interesting. A lot of people. I can put 2 words here. It is my choice. The exercise says you have only one choice. And I can say I meet a lot of people. I can also say I talk to a lot of people. Okay, you are going to practice your own verbs. If you are interested, you can increase the knowledge of your vocabularies and practice them in any exercise that you see. This is your first important extra practice. Okay, we have in number 7 something interesting. Food is a kind of a noun which we cannot count it. It is called uncountable noun. We have uncountable noun with single verb. And again, in the second sentence, we have this single noun as a single pronoun. And then again, we need to apply something singular, like a single verb. Food is expensive. Expensive is opposite of cheap. It costs a lot of money. Okay, be careful. This is going to happen in an examination. They take you, food is expensive, and in the second part, they either ask you about the verb or about the subject that the sentence must start with. Be very careful. Shoes are 2 parts. We have feet, more than 1 foot, very, very often. I mean, so often exactly. Shoes, okay, they are more than 1. Are, yes, it is showing more than 1 too. Shoes are expensive. They come for shoes as the right pronoun. We say cost here again. Okay, we just use these 2. Water is an uncountable noun. We say at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, what happens? Yes, it boils. Okay, be careful. Water is an uncountable noun. We know it as one thing. Okay, then we need to put S for the verb to. Okay, we can fill these exercises very, very easily. And we have the answer of these exercises at the end of the book. The first important thing is that you understand about the conjugating the verbs in the sentences correctly. And you are always going to use them perfectly everywhere. Why? Because you are making sentences and you do need to put a verb right there to make the sentence perfect and make it clear. Okay, but the second exercise is that you need to talk with the book, start speaking. You have one single sentence and you need to talk about your opinion about this. For instance, 5.4 number 1 says connecting these words for making one single sentence. But here, arrive doesn't have any S. Okay, we need to add S. Sue is one single person. Always is adverb of frequency. I just call it AF. Okay, I just put a short name for it, AF, adverb of frequency. Okay, adverb of frequency comes before the main verb. As the rule says above here, I just wrote it here about open, for instance. Yes, we can do this. Again, Sue always arrives. This S comes for one single subject. Early is the matter of the time and one full stop at the end of the sentence. Okay, making sentences is very, very important. This is going to practice with us. But the second exercise is that you give the book your opinion. Write something. Sue always arrives early. You can say, yes, she is always on time. Well, on time is somehow, almost somehow, equal early. On time. This is my opinion. You can change and say something very different. Whatever you like. Number 6. Often or often. Both of the pronunciations are correct. People's names, I forget. I often forget. People's names. We have people's and names. Okay, this is the finishing part of the sentence. We will talk about these two parts. They are very, very important. This is the apostrophe S showing the possessive of the noun to another noun. And this is a plural noun adding S to it because we have people here. Okay, somebody says this sentence to you. Imagine that you are talking with someone. I often forget people's name. This is book, okay? Now it is you. Well, you say you can write their names in a notebook, their names in your mobile phone, in anything you like, huh? So this is the book and it is you. You're going to say, produce a new sentence. Anything. It is very important to start making sentences. You're going to see it that it is going to help you a lot to understand at the same time finding some opinions. This is language. You need the vocabulary, you do need the grammar, but at the same time, you must try to make opinions talking. When you try to talk, you're trying to use your grammar and vocabularies at the same time, mixing them with your opinions and putting them in order with different of your ideas talking about something. I hope that you enjoy this lesson. I would like to hear from you. Please put the subscribe right there and give me your comments. I would love to hear from you very much. Have a great time and enjoy life.